Greetings and welcome to Tarot Time. Welcome to the live people, and for those of you watching it a video, welcome to you also. What we do is we do a meditation card for the week and some meditation instructions for the energies of this week. We do a little tarot spread that will give us some insight, some direction, a forecast, if you will, a psychic forecast or divination forecast on things that may be going on in your life or in the world around us. Then I have other divination cards that we use, and really just have a good time, talk about what's going on with us in the world and what to expect and all that good stuff. So I'll give the live people another minute or two to get on. So if you're watching this as a video, hang out for a moment. Let me see. Good. I'm glad Michael Morrison. Hi, good morning. I'm glad that you're in live, and I'll tell you why in a minute when I get started. Hi, Doreen of Children's School of Yoga. She'll be doing another yoga class for us at the end of July. So if you guys are into yoga, we have a playlist of yoga classes, and if not, this is the time to start. This is the time to really dive down in our spirituality, our spiritual practices. So Sunday morning, I'm a little foggy. Excuse me for that, but good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jody, Angela. Hospital. It's hot. Not sure how long I'll last before I have to get in the. All right. Well, it's always available as a video. It's not really hot here, but it's very humid and sticky out. Good morning, MDR. Hi, Judy. Let me adjust this. Hi, my angels. We want our angels. Hi, Susan, Michelle, and Yvonne. And let me hide the comment. And anybody else that's here, good morning, everybody that's coming in. Hi, MT. All right, let me grab a little bit of water here. And we've been on, about 2.5 minutes. So I always like to give the live people a chance. So what's going on? Actually, last night, right around 2 a.m., I wasn't sleeping. I was up and I was getting messages. So I wrote a couple of pages of stuff down that I'm gonna look at my notes in a second and talk about this. And just as a general, like broad perspective on things, big changes are in the air. I mean, we know that. There's just so much shifting in the energetic field. And one of the things, well, I'm visualizing myself doing my cold shower, so maybe I'm supposed to talk about that for a second while live people are coming in. But doing cold therapy can be really beneficial, and I started doing it in the summertime 2 years ago. Summertime's a good time to start because here in the Catskill Mountains, the water temperature is not that cold. It's probably 50, 52. It's not that hard to take. And it's closer to 40 in the winter, maybe even in the upper 30s. It's so cold that it numbs your whole body and your skin. So anyway, good for your immune system, good for your health, but also the idea is it's good spiritual training. And the idea, whether you do cold showers or do a cold plunge, which is even more effective, the idea is you want to get in and instead of tensing the body, because when the cold hits us or extreme conditions hits the body, we're just kind of naturally wired to tense up. But if we can just relax, if we can relax the body when faced with life-threatening conditions, there's another level of survival instinct in the body that can only be accessed if we're relaxed, if we're present, and if we're connected to spirit. And that's how people survive, like being like the, I forgot his name, but the Russian wrestler that had a snowmobiling accident in Minnesota, and it was negative 25. He got wet, so he spent a whole night wet in negative 25-degree weather with no fire, and he survived that. and we have these amazing capacities. So anyway, I think we can get going. Like I said, I have a bunch of notes here, and I'm going to look at them. I'm going to talk about a few things that just all relevant to what's really going on in the world and how things are progressing. So this is relevant. Helps with serotonin. So what happened? Yeah, it can. And I also do Joe Dispenza's breath technique, supernatural breathing. When I get up first thing in the morning, which is really a yoga technique. I love Joe Dispenza. He's very good at kind of reframing things and giving them new names. But it's supernatural breathing. Basically, what you do is you kind of pull in on your lower chakras and kind of squeeze the energy up to your upper chakras, and that helps to squeeze spinal fluids up into the brain, and it converts the what's it called? The sleep hormone, melatonin to serotonin. Great way to wake up. So I mean, I tend to be still out of my body when I wake up. I do a lot of traveling. I rarely sleep more than 6 hours. Usually it's 4 or 5 hours. I get up, I'm like groggy. After about a minute of doing this breath technique, it's like I'm awake, and then I do my other breathing and my other meditation. Then I hit that cold shower. So yeah, that can help. It helps. Cold therapy helps with the immune system. But like I said, I feel like there's a lot of spiritual benefits also, and it can help with aging and stuff like that, and all that really good stuff. Hi, Blindly Inspired. Hi, Colleen. And anybody else that I missed? MDR. Anybody else that I missed? And he says it sucks. It talks about the body. You can leave the lymph. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Very good. So anyhow. So I was up at 2 in the morning, and I was just like thinking about one of the many crazy stories that's likely to come up with Venus going retrograde, and Uranus was very active in June because it was a 4/22 month, or 22/4 month, which is Uranus ruled. And then we started this month, July, with a Uranus and Venus squaring, which is the first of 3 squares through October between those two planets. And Venus is going to go retrograde. So Uranus is really about surprises, sudden changes, spirituality, evolution, revolution, and stuff like that. So I was thinking about, you guys heard about them finding cocaine in the White House, right? I don't know, did Biden, I mean, not did Hunter Biden lose his stash there? I mean, how the heck was it there cocaine found in the White House? Although maybe Joe's been that would explain a thing or two, right? Well, but anyway, what they're saying is that a tourist must have dropped it or whatever. But how a white powder gets past security of the White House, and it was found near the West Wing also. I mean, I have sketchy details on what happened. I don't read a lot of news stories, but these are some of the things that I skimmed over. It's like, all right, they found a white powder. It was cocaine. It was on somewhere like near a tour group or whatever. But I don't know how anybody could have gone past security with a white powder. That's one of the first things they're going to look for. Think anthrax and other things that can be concealed in white powder. So then that got me to thinking, what about January the 6th? Remember that event? Basically, this was all over social media. In fact, I knew people that they were talking about, yeah, we're going to go down to Washington and we're going to march on the Capitol, this, that, and the other thing. So this was well known. 1/6, January 6th. It was well known this was going to happen. But how did 1,000 or 2,000 people in costumes get through one of the most secure buildings on the entire planet? Yeah, do people think or use any logic, or did they just read the stories and just blindly follow what we're being told? That's just so illogical. And to this day, I'm still scratching my head about that. So, you can let that sink in for a second, that people broke security in the White House and got it inside, basically. And it was well publicized on social media, and the CIA or whoever watchdogging social media knew that. So they knew that that was planned and it still happened. So do we think about that? Then I was kind of thinking about remember the vax, the jab and everything, and how that was such a huge issue, and people were saying to trust the science. Trust the science, it's safe, trust the science. And I'll tell people, yes, I do trust the science. Science tells me that it takes 8 to 11 years to validate the long-term safety of a vaccine. And this was rolled out. This had about 10 or 11 months of testing before they approved it for experimental use. And the thing about that is, if, hypothetically speaking, giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, if this was such a major threat, COVID being such a global threat, that they needed to use this experimentally, fine. I can understand that, but let the public know, basically. Don't sneak it in. So anyway, people didn't like that response here. I need to read my notes now. I could say, of course, as far as like vaccines, should you take it, should you not, or what's behind it? I mean, I don't have an opinion on that one way or another, but I do want to bring out these facts. For some reason, Spear wanted me to just talk about these things. I mean, when I go on Spear Mind Family on Patreon, then I suddenly do have an opinion, by the way. That's only $5 a month if you guys want to join. And okay, so the next thing that they came to me, some people will probably never get sick from COVID. Some people, for one reason or another, have natural immunity. I know people like that. Some are vaxxed, some are not vaxxed, that never got COVID. Mingled around people, did went to groups or whatever, never caught it. So if I was a scientist, that's one of the first things that I would want to know when I'm researching a new virus. Who gets it? Who doesn't? Why do they get it? Why don't they? Because that would map out a strategy to fight it, basically. But we didn't hear much about that, now, did we? And perhaps a cure could have even been discovered in those people that just have, whether it's genetic or otherwise, just have natural immunity. And then and the other thing is, the entire population may not have needed a vaccine. It may have been more available selectively for those groups that are more vulnerable, you see. But by the way, Pfizer had their two biggest years, just coincidentally, of course, and many of the most powerful corporations on the planet, and the most powerful and influential and richest people got 50% richer during this whole thing. Then comes big inflation, right? Which doesn't affect those that are 50% richer, but it does affect everybody else. So they can afford it. So who controls the money? Money's printed every day. Who controls the money? Who's going to have the money? How much money is going to be available? These are questions we should all be asking right now. And I honestly, I don't know enough to know the answers. I just know enough to know that there's something pretty big behind that, basically. Now, to my knowledge, money's not on any standards presently. It's been off the petrodollar for a while. It's been off the gold standard since the Nixon era. And Michael and anybody else that knows the economy better than me, is welcome to chime in here. But who controls how much money is available? Who gets the money? Who doesn't? These are things we should all be worried about. Okay, we're on the pace. So getting back to thing, this is what started all of this. So I'm kind of going a little bit back and forth here. And here, so Michael's saying that the fiat dollar is wait. Here's the one I wanted to go. And it has been unpacked since President Nixon, right? I'm back. Gotcha. I'm back since President Nixon. Basically, to me, that means they can print as much money as they darn well please without having, gold bars and Fort Knox to back it. Basically, is what that tells me. I mean, I don't know a lot about the economy. I could be wrong. This is an interesting point. So Susan's saying, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, at the time, so I was worried about my immune system. You know, I'm not against vaccines. Firstly, I don't. I want people to understand that they have their place. Personally, not for me. Um, I think that more information should be available because there's a lot of chemicals in vaccines, a lot of things that people may be sensitive to. But yeah, things should be available for the immune compromised. Absolutely. But if you're healthy, and again, this is part of the whole thing, remember how certain corporations, big tech, big farm, how they benefited big time from this whole program. We have to do what's right for us, but we need to be better informed than we were, in my opinion. Anyway, so let me move on. So Spirit was showing me coins, and the message was that several of us in this community are going to receive financial blessings very soon. And this is a really, really good time. This week's a really good time to do money manifestation work. So if you have law of attraction work that you like to do, this is a good time to do it according to what Spirit. And they're saying also the right investment can pay off big. And this is why I was hoping that Michael would be on, because the trick is in knowing how the money is flowing, what is trending, knowing the flow of corruption in the society, how corruption works, how to follow the money, follow the corrupt flow of power, the corrupt flow of money. And by doing that, you can hack this whole like economic paradigm and really figure out where there's an opportunity, where between the cracks you can invest your money and really hit it big. It's out there. There are opportunities out there, and maybe AI, right? That's huge. As much as, well, I'm not against it. I'm just against the way that I believe that it's going to be used. I'm not against growing technology by any means, but again, these are things to keep in mind. So anyway, yoo-hoo, money, manifestation. Yes, and uh, and Yvonne saying, I believe there are other ways to treat immune compromise. Thank you. Yeah, there are. They put fear in the minds, and they are the ones that felt the jab will protect them. Yeah, that's an excellent point. Very good, and you are saying absolutely they can print as much as they like. However, they back themselves into a corner, as the more they print, the more inflation we get, and the less purchasing power the dollar has. Absolutely, yeah. Uh, and had an MRI to get a green card. Oh gosh, and one of the things that they came up. I didn't even mention things around child trafficking. I was just thinking about things that came up in past predictions that panned out, and it was the June monthly prediction. Spear was coming through and talking about lots of disclosure about child trafficking, sex trafficking. And then they were saying more in July though, and I didn't know what that meant until I heard about the movie. I can't even remember the name of the movie. That came out on July 4th. The Call to Freedom, or God, what's the name of that movie? Sorry, I'm having mental blocks today. Good morning, Janet. I saw you sneak in. uh, um, Call to Freedom. Anyways, the Sound of Freedom. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I didn't know about that movie. Apparently, it's been over 4 years in the making. I didn't know about it. That's how much I don't listen to the news or whatever. So I got the message in June that there's a lot of disclosure in July. Then I found out about the movie. So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to go see it. It's something important that we should all see. From what I understand, they did a good job with it, given the fact that if they say too much and start to point fingers, it would get banned. So I think that they were able to say just enough and portray things just enough to draw more awareness and focus into that. So that's another thing. So what's going on? July 22nd, circle that date. What's going on July 22nd? Well, it's Mary Magdalene's feast day. So that's Mary Magdalene's Day. The sun goes into Leo, although every year the sun goes into Leo on the 22nd or the 23rd. But also, Venus is going to go retrograde. Venus has already been in its approach to its retrograde for quite a while, which is why if you gaze at the night sky, while you're seeing Venus is sinking lower and lower in the night sky lately, because Venus is slowing down and catching up to the sun, and then it's going to go into full-on retrograde. Now, we had, to start the month of July, we had a Venus-Uranus square, and this is going to come up for some of you, because one of the things, and I've been talking about this for several months, you guys, some of you guys know this, and I'm wondering if this is like a message for me more than anybody, but there's likely to be some changes around romantic related stuff, partnership stuff, or whatever. But the idea is that we must think outside the box. Uranus is going to be squaring Venus, and Venus is going retrograde. So retrograde means re, the prefix re. Venus is the planet of love. It's also about the economy and money. When Uranus squares, it throws it almost like this very distracting beam of energy into what we think is our normal. Like if you have a type that you're looking for, forget about it. If you have a size or a hair color or an economic status or an age or a job or whatever it is, forget about it, because the person that's likely to come is not going to fit a lot of those parameters. More often than not, your soulmate, I mean, I believe that we have many soulmates for many different reasons, but your like twin flame or whatever label you want to put in it, that person that's best suited to be in a romantic partnership with you is probably not going to be in the form that you're looking for. So lose that. That's one of the messages that I get about that. And there's two more Venus-Uranus squares that are going to follow. One in August, I think one in early October. And this is going to be a really good time to solve any past relationship patterns in your life also. So with Uranus very active in this Venus retrograde, and surprises in love also. So the person that you may be really interested in, that you just think, no way, they're not interested or whatever, that person may surprise you, or vice versa. You may be surprised that somebody that's been interested in you find, oh my God, I need to take a second look at that person. So I think, not just this week, but I think in the next month and a half, this is something that a lot of you, especially the single people, are gonna face that. So I also wrote down, think outside the box and sweeping economic changes. And Venus also controls the flow of, well, I shouldn't say controls, influences the flow of money. Planets, the way they move, it's all part of collective consciousness, all energies. As planets move, as they align or whatever, it affects collective consciousness. It affects the collective energy. It affects trends in society. And it can be a good predictive also. So anyway, what are you guys saying? I'm missing this. Oh, yes. Thanks for reminding me about Sirius. We're still in the Sirius Gateway portal. I asked Spirit on behalf of a friend, Lily Nova. You guys know who she is. So a friend of the channel who was asking about doing something with the Sirius Gateway portal today, I think. I think she's going to do that at 3 on her channel. And I asked Spirit, and they said, no, it's fine. It's still open till around the 11th. So we're in that Sirius Gateway portal. We had the 777 portal. Basically, the star Sirius is located. It's a fixed star at 16 degrees Cancer. The sun lines up at 16-degree Cancer around July 5th or 6th. So that's when they're in an exact alignment. So Sirius is the spiritual sun, and I really got this last autumn when I was gazing at Sirius, and all of a sudden in my mind it started to move, it started to change color and blink Morse code at me, and I got the message that it's a transmitter of energetic frequencies, of the language of frequencies for our awakening planet, basically. So you can't gaze at Sirius now because you'll be gazing at the sun, but it starts to get visible very, very early in the morning towards the very end of July. And then it starts to get higher and higher in the sky as we work into the autumn. So we're still in that gateway portal. And this is a spiritual activation. So a good time to meditate, a good time to set intentions. So what else are you guys saying? All right, let's get into some tarot, because it's almost this is turning more into a discussion than a tarot reading, but these are things that are coming up. So I'm going to pull a meditation card. I'm kind of looking at they're saying so there's a little validation here. And here, this is, thank you that you were one that mentioned Sirius, and I was like, oh yes, embracing the strong Sirius energy now, cleansing the strong violet flame as often you can. Thank you for that. Absolutely, yes. Agreed. All right, so let's do a meditation card. So we meditate with tarot cards. We get present, step into the card, feel the energy. See the panoramic view, because the card only has just a fixed image on it. Absorb the energies, communicate with whatever guides or beings or energies that are communicating with you, or whatever you get intuitively, and maybe ask for guidance, because again, this Uranus energy and everything that's going on in the world is basically you're going to level the whole playing field that we have. As we live in a society built on a house of cards. Basically, that house of cards is built on the foundation of corruption and greed and power over people. And then the big bad wolf is going to blow that house of cards down. The big bad wolf, known as truth, is going to blow that whole house of cards down. It's already happening. And then society gets rebuilt on a stronger foundation. A strong foundation is more about fairness, equity, equality, power back to the people, nations governed by the people, not by an elite few that want to centralize everything, but rather the people that really matter, that get affected by the laws and get affected by what's going on. So we're still actively blowing the house of cards down right now, basically. Okay, if you're late, Pauline, because when it's over, you can rewind and catch the beginning. We're at 33 on. 33 is a sacred master number. 33 vertebrae in the spine. Okay, meditation card is right here. Ooh, beautiful one. And what do we talk about? Autofocus. Somebody's saying it tries to focus on, what it's doing? It's focusing on my image. Autofocus works sometimes and it doesn't work others. It's a mystery to me. But anyway, would this help? I don't know how. If I stand way back, does that help? All right. Anyhow, so we get a fuzzy image of the high priestess, but so this is the Morgan Greer deck. If you have your own cards, find your own high priestess. It's key too. It's lunar guided energy, and it's often about mysteries and about the sacred divine feminine in her maiden state or in her young state of the triple goddess in Wicca pagan philosophies and thinking. So the maiden, there's the mother, then there's the crone. So in the tarot, they're all represented by the high priestess for the maiden, the empress for the mother, and the hermit for the crone. So all three aspects of the goddess or the divine feminine are expressed in tarot. And this is about intuition and cultivating your intuition, your ability to get information through dreams, through energy, through channeling, mediumship, and all that stuff. So that's her meditation card for the week. Fuzzy as it is, but it is a mystery. So she's being a little bit mysterious too. Yes. So I'm going to do a 3-card spread now and see if we can expand on all the stuff I was talking about earlier. This broadcast. And by the way, speaking of child trafficking, probably next Sunday we'll do another group meditation to send some energy to the children, the parents, and the earth in general, like we did a couple of weeks ago. So I'll have more information as the week goes on that. All right. All right, so let me clear my mind a second. Card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. This is too funny. You guys will definitely laugh when you see this, based upon what I was saying earlier. All right, so let's see. If I have no image, does that come out clearer? No. Let me see if I take my hands away. All right, yeah. 2 of Cups. What was we talking about? Like partnerships, relationships, thinking outside the box. 4, the number 4, Uranus guided numerology, 4. And then the 9 of Cups, the Wish card. How beautiful. So who's falling in love? You can speak up. Don't be shy. Who's in love now? Inquiring minds want to know. But this extends, well beyond relationships, because this is also about a connection here. And it's also about stepping back. During this Venus retrograde, when the inner planets are slower in retrograde, it's a good time to step back. More meditation, basically. This could be about different forces coming together, and that could be a good thing. I feel like in the next week or two, we may catch wind of 1 or 2 spiritual teachers starting to get more in sync with one another. Maybe one of the females. I don't know if it's Mother. What's her name? Amma. Does she still do her thing in July where she goes to places like New York City and Boston and basically hugs thousands of people, and then they get a sort of a dong shot from it, a moment of elevation from it. Maybe, but I think that this is also about you have something going on in world affairs where different nations are kind of coming together. This is good energy. Now the 4 of Wands, this is telling us to step back, be in our heart, be in our power, be don't get too caught up in what's going on out in the world. It's for this community. It's a good energy for going within. That doesn't mean to self-isolate or you can't see people or you can't be social or whatever. In fact, the cards around these are very social cards. So connecting with community, again, that could be part of this 2 of Cup energy, is connect with like-minded people this week. Find your community, find your tribe, all that good stuff, and reconnect. Part of this Venus retrograde is old circumstances, old energies coming into the present. And I personally, I've been thinking a lot about in my close relationships I had in my life, like could I have done better? What did I do wrong? What did I do that may have ended something or made something not as good as it could have been? We always have to take responsibility. That's the key for being a true warrior, a spiritual warrior. Right or wrong, takes responsibility for everything in the world, because on some level we created. We're all energy. We're all connected in this great web of life. We're all like a thread in the great web of life. As our thread pulls, it bends that whole web. Everything we think, everything we feel, everything we act on, everything we say affects the great web of life. It affects the quantum field or the morphic field, where we're all connected. So people do some really, really crappy things to us, and it's really, really easy to point fingers and blame people. But if you're ever going to evolve and grow and change your cycles in your life, you got to step back, say, what in my energy caused this person to be in my life in the first place, or to be in a position to do this or to screw me? For some, it may be a job, and maybe, I lost a job at some point and got really, in a big financial pickle, or my feelings got really hurt. But why was I in that job in the first place? Was there something within me that didn't believe that I was good enough to do what I really love to do? And instead, I took a job in fear that I'd have no money, rather than trusting that if I'm aligned with my life purpose and I'm putting the energy out, that I become more magnetic to money. So we need to think a little bit more broadly, I think, is the message that this is happening. And to think on, what, not just romantic partnerships or friendships, family relationships, all this stuff, like what went wrong, what was my part in it. A lot of people have selective memories and don't even remember the things that they said or did, and they totally blame the other person. It's part of our survival instinct. It's part of our programming. When we start to meditate, when we start to go within and become the observer of our thoughts, our emotions, our breath, our body, and all that stuff, then we start to break through that veil and we start to retrieve the true memories. It's all a survival thing. So, anyways, that's the message I get for us in this group. Cups is very happy energy. It's about love. It's about good emotions. It's suggesting that we do connect with people that we love. Make sure that we say "I love you" to those we love regularly, because we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. As a professional medium for over 20 years, I can attest to the fact that one of the main reasons people see a medium is that, gosh, if only I had said this, if only I knew the person was going to die, I would have solved that argument. I would have told them I love them. I would have done this, that, and the other thing. So that's basically the message that I get. So again, there may be a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes. I mean, there's been riots, there's been a lot of unrest, there's been things that we don't know about. There's things that we do know about. We know people are going more and more crazy. We know the energies are getting intense. We know the programming is getting very intense. There is an agenda out there to centralize power, to centralize governments, to get people to fall in line, to serve the select few and all that kind of stuff. So we have to be in our heart. We have to be in our power. We have to realize this and connect, not in a fear-based way, but in an empowering way, that this is the life we chose. This is what we chose when we came in here, to fulfill our life mission, our life purpose, to help humanity, to help collective consciousness expand and grow and to move forward in their spiritual life. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. What else? Go in the heart, be in your place of power. That is the eye of the storm. The storm gathers all its energy in the eye, yet it's very, very calm. And if we can be in the eye of the storm, which is the heart center, we are in that place of power that generates the storm, yet we're in that place of calm. We're in that place of power, that place of control. It starts with self-mastery, basically. So, I'm definitely missing a lot of what you guys are saying. Wow. You guys have some really amazing comments going on. Thank you so much for that. Let me go back down because it's 11:43. We got more work to do here. Let me pull a Native American tarot card also. Yes, that's good advice for this energy. Thank you for that. And hi, Pauline. Our teachers got confirmation from a medium. Even Adam has shared some, I know, and others do not. Thank you for that. And MDR saying, don't only say you love them, act. Good point. Act accordingly. Yeah. the words, actions need to be aligned with words. That's definitely shown there also. Otherwise, you're manipulative. Basically, is what it boils down to, right? All right, so clearing my mind, I'm circling around this card here. Sundance, interesting. Sorry about the autofocus today. Sorry to see my big face and hand here. I just thought maybe that would help the autofocus, but it doesn't. All right, so anyway, I'll pull the card back a little bit. Then at least you can make out some of the details. So Sundance is a Lakota ceremony. It's a really testament to mind over matter and how amazing humans really are, and we don't even know it. Again, a lot of this is to the the pharmaceuticals, the disempowering of people in order to peddle products and stuff like this. But consider this: Sundancers start out doing a sweat lodge. They hang from a tree for 4 days, no food, no water. They hang from a tree after doing a sweat lodge. Ask your doctor what would happen to you if you did that. Your doctor would say, after 3 days without water, you'd be dead. But they do a sweat lodge and they don't drink water for 4 days. That's how amazing we are. And once we start to tap into our spirit, we transcend all the limitations, all the forced limitations, the false beliefs that have been pounded in our heads generation after generation, that we are vulnerable, we are weak, we must trust in somebody else to help us to be okay, to survive. Real exploitation of the human primitive survival instincts, if you ask me. So anyway, there you have it. Perfect card to pull. Okay, try putting the card right in front of my face, then autofocus it. How about this? What do you guys think? it's either the tarot hour or the comedy hour, right? So let me do our frequency of the week as my cards spill all over the place. So this is the sacred geometry cards. Oh yeah. When does that happen? Does that happen this month or when the nodes go into Libra Aries? That from Scorpio Taurus. I know it's right around the corner that shift is happening. Anyhow, all the folks focus on the background for some reason. All right. Okay, let me see. What do you have to say? Understanding and forgiving, but do all this for darkness. No one does. Yeah, so it's great to be of service and to help people. We need to do that, but not at our own expense. So guilt and shame, let's purge those as best we can. Let's focus on purging those frequencies, which according to David Hawkins is even lower on the emotional frequency scale than anger and fear. All right. Spirit to give me the frequency of the week. This is the card they guided me to. Soul time. So this is, see, let's bring the autofocus to me. This is clear enough that you can at least gaze on the image. Yeah, I mean, it's good enough that you can at least absorb the image. And the idea is to get this image in your mind and meditate on it and tap into this frequency of this of the sacred geometry. And what it says here is the frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. So it's just really, meditating or acknowledging our own divinity, basically. License. So here we go. All right, so that's that. Hi, almost home. Hi, Nicole. And anybody else that I missed, hi, that popped in. And of course, when we're done, you can get my whole rant, at the beginning of this and everything else that you missed. So I have the Divine Abundance deck also. All right. So anyways, and here we got guidance is the card that I pulled. So it looks kind of like this. Sometimes you get your own message by whatever you're drawn to. Maybe it being fuzzy would even work in your favor. What you're seeing in the fuzzy image and how that's drawn to you. To me, even though this is a sailboat, I'm seeing a pyramid. So that's what I'm seeing. And pyramid energy is really very much about connecting to higher consciousness and higher realities. The message is when you make divine intelligence your foundation, you finally have a fixed star to follow. Sirius is a fixed star, so is the North Star. Well, I think all stars are fixed stars, right? It's the planets that move. The stars don't move in different degrees of their signs. I mean, they may vary one degree or so during the year, but so Sirius is a fixed star. So anyways, so how do you make divine intelligence your foundation? You practice presence and develop presence. When you're in your thinking mind, you're only drawing from personal intelligence and you're kind of cutting off the lion's share of divine intelligence. But when you get present with your breath, your body, and stop thinking and just feel and expand, then you start to tap into divine intelligence, which is far greater than personal intelligence. Even if you need to tie your shoe or balance a checkbook, you're still drawing from a higher resource than your own brain. You basically, personal intelligence is of the brain, but divine intelligence is of mind. So we are mind. The mind needs to control the brain, not the other way around, which is how we're conditioned and programmed in the society. So next we have our animal totems from the Native American tradition. And I do have the book. Good. And I don't have the book. No, I do. Okay. So way down here. Look at we got number 41, the whale. Whales takes big breaths, right? So I know that's part of it. Whales can go underwater for a long time, thousands of feet, deep into the emotional abyss. So this is a good totem, especially if you're doing any kind of shadow work, any kind of self-actualization work. The totem of whale can be really, really beneficial. 41. And record keeper, that's interesting. So whale is very much like a swimming library. Whale carries the history of Mother Earth and is said to have been placed here by the ancients from the dog star Sirius. Interesting that the Native Americans understood about alien intelligences and understood that. So what's the Sirius? There's I think a binary star. There's in the last channeling, the master teacher said how many. I forgot how many, but there's like at least 4 or 5 planets that have beings around Sirius, and that's not far from Orion. There's a lot of energy around there. I don't think that's that far from the Pleiades. So a lot of these swimming mammals, I always thought they were from the Pleiades, but maybe they're from Sirius. I don't know. But in any event, interesting. So like I was saying, this is a good energy to have when you're digging deeper into the emotional patterns that you, most of us unconsciously exhibit. And there's another word, I can't think of it, in your lives, and how we react to things emotionally really dictates what we create in our lives. I mean, how we react to other people directly affects how they respond to us. So there's a very not even an esoteric, but a very rational and a very grounded reason for that. But then, if you understand quantum mechanics and the newer discoveries, what we feel changes the quantums. In other words, the subatomic particles within us, and that affects subatomic particles around us, which the microcosm over time affects the macrocosm, or in other words, our thoughts, emotions, and energy changes physical reality, according to that. Anyways, very good. Bulk star, perfect. Yeah. So, last but not least, I have an angel message for us. I'm saying that she loves the humpback whale as record keeper. Yes, it is. Thank you. And I always think of the trees and the rocks as the record keeper, but I could see that. And they have knowledge and wisdom. Dolphins too, all kinds of whales, and swimming mammals have records from other star systems also. And what was it? It's the fourth. I think it was the fourth Star Trek movie with the humpback whales. Where they go back into the 1980s, and Spock basically has to wear a headband, and Kirk is saying that he did too much. I'll never forget that. He's from Berkeley. He did too much LDS, he says, rather than LSD. It was like that was a funny movie, but it really kind of taps into that whole theory, which I think is more than the theory, that these whales came from another. They were gifted to this Earth from another planet or another star, basically. So this is kind of a validation of somebody that's feeling these energies also. So wake up thinking about my life up to this point, like a mini past life review. 4 L's into describing Earth: living, loving, laughing, beautiful. I love that. Often see, when I do my channeling, I see the dolphins. The Pleiadians are here, so I think they're from the Pleiades. But like I said, I'm not an expert. Some have studied these things a lot more than I have. I'll put it that way. And we got Isaiah. It's a good time to give birth to new ideas and situations in your life. I am watching over you, guiding you, protecting you during these changes. So very good. Time to birth new ideas. Yes, and in connecting these tarot cards, new ideas with that 9 of Cups. That's the wish card. Things can really come into some amazing fruition over the next several months. I'm going to say the next 4 months, if you're able to really tap into these ideas and start to act on them. Venus is retrograde, then Mercury is going to go retrograde, I think, in August or later August, September. And so there's a lot of interplanet stuff, but it's still a good time to start to really focus on your new ideas and start to at least draw up the groundwork to manifest them, and they can really manifest. So in any event, so what was that? Janae saying that I guess in a reading that I told you that was your spirit guide, and then I was told by a past life expert I was Palladian. So yeah, that would make sense to me. All right. Very good, very good. So it's about noon. This was a long one today. Thank you guys for hanging in there for the whole time with me. And what else? I don't have a lot of live streams. I'm kind of in the middle of a 2-week hiatus from doing readings, where I'm really working on my courses. Other videos, other ideas and stuff like that. We will be back closer to the new moon for that stuff. We'll definitely be back next Sunday. On the 23rd, I have an awakening story with Betty Hansen. I think it's the 23rd of July. So things will start to pick up. So it'll be a little bit of a quieter week here on the channel, but we do our daily short form videos. So we do our daily predictions in the morning, and then we do sometimes another one depending on what Spirit wants to share. And let's face it, I know there's other things. Oh yeah, if you want to join Spirit Mind Family, that's where we dive deeper into things. And for those of you guys that are in Spirit Mind Family, that's the Patreon group. I decided last night I'm going to add a monthly chat also on Zoom that we can just go and hang out as a community. And so we'll have that, and we'll have the live video. So we'll have twice a month, we'll have opportunity to where we can really connect with community. And like I said, there we can discuss things a little bit more deep. You know, I talked a lot earlier about things like vaccines and about the economy and about why things happen. But again, I don't have an opinion on any of this stuff on YouTube because I'm just here to share what I'm seeing, share what's going on. You guys are smart. You can draw your own conclusions, but the idea is have those facts. You understand what's really going on behind the scenes. But then sometimes I find my opinion on magically on Spirit Mind Family, and then we do more additional channeling with the master teachers, and we have exclusive contents that aren't shared anywhere else. Just $5 a month. I'll share the link when this becomes a video, which is going to be in a few minutes. Thank you again, everybody. I love you. See you around.